Let's can up some butter. This is a Rebel canning method. If that is not your jam, just keep scrolling. No need to be hateful. And for those who are curious what Rebel canning is, it is canning that is not approved by any alphabet organization, but it is a method of canning that has been used for years and years by people like me. And also to answer the question, no, this is not ghee. I am not going to remove all of the milk solids, so this cannot be considered even clarified butter because it's still going to have almost all of the milk solids. I am going to remove a little bit at the end, you'll see, but not very much at all. And there are so many different methods of canning butter. This one is just what works best for me. I think I've tried most all of them. All of the milk solids, salt, all of it is evenly distributed into each jar. So let's get into it. First, you need jars. You can do this in any size jar. I find pints easiest for me because I tend to use 2 cups of butter at a time, and that is how much butter fits into each jar. I do it into half pints sometimes as well, but for the most part, I have discovered that I reach for the pint jars more often. So that's what I choose to do. And then you need your butter. You can use homemade butter, unsalted butter, salted butter, whatever floats your boat. Just realize that if you're using salted butter, it is going to be a little bit grainy. And so if that's going to bother you, use unsalted butter, or you can use a mixture of half salted and half non. Since I primarily use canned butter for things like baking, it really doesn't matter because it's all just going to get mixed up. But if you're spreading this on toast, the graininess might bother you. So fill your jars with as much butter as you can, and then I pop them into the oven at 200 degrees and I let it melt down. And as it melts down, I just keep adding butter until the jars are filled to about a ½ inch of headspace. And to answer the questions of why on earth would you can butter when you could just pop it in the freezer? Absolutely, popping it into the freezer is so much easier, but we have been known to have power outages where we live and harsh winters. So we're not always able to get to the store, so we can't just go buy it all the time. And if we have a power outage and a freezer goes out, I know that I don't have to worry about saving butter. I will already have enough to save with me in the freezer, so I really try not to keep a whole lot in our freezers. And I forgot to record this last part, but with the last time I put butter in, I add my lids and rings to this pan here that's going into the oven because the lids need to be hot when you put them on the jars. And right here, I'm just removing some of the milk solids that have floated to the top. Again, I'm not removing all of them. You can see milk solids there at the bottom of the jar. There's still a lot in there, but we do remove this little bit, which is really good on popcorn, so don't throw it away. After you put the lids on, you can go ahead and put this back into the oven for about 10-15 minutes just to make sure everything is nice and hot. And when you pull them out again, you'll just need to shake them. And y'all, I've burned my fingers so many times with cooking that I don't really have feeling in my fingers. But if you do, use a pot holder to shake these until they cool a little bit. Now, as you're shaking these or checking these every 10-15 minutes or so, eventually one of the times that you stop to shake it, it will just stay that solid one color. You can see here, I shake it and it's slowly gonna start separating. See that at the bottom? Now, watch this. See how it's staying that one solid color and it's not separating anymore? That's what you need. As soon as it stays that one color, you don't really need to shake it again. It should stay. I'm going to leave these jars on the counter for about 18 to 24 hours just to make sure that the lids seal and that we're good to go. And in my opinion, this is shelf stable for a year. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.